What if the ultimate symbol of wealth isn't what you can buy, but what you can't be forced to do? What if the most coveted luxury item on earth isn't a watch, a car, or a mansion, but a blank calendar? This is the secret that separates the merely rich from the generationally wealthy. It's a principle passed down not in boardrooms, but in quiet conversations between parent and child. A philosophy that completely rewires their relationship with money, status, and life itself. Most of us spend our lives on a treadmill. We work harder to earn more so we can buy more things that show we're successful. We get the promotion, we buy the bigger house. We land the client, we lease the faster car. We believe these are the rewards, the tangible proof that we've made it. But what if it's all a trap? A beautifully decorated, socially acceptable trap that consumes the one resource we can never, ever get back. Mark had finally made it. The car he'd plastered on his vision board since college was now his, its metallic paint gleaming under the city sun. The engine's low growl was the sound of his success. But the dream felt different in reality. It felt heavy. He was working 3 hours longer each day just to afford the lease, the insurance, the gas, and the freedom this car promised was spent in gridlock, staring at someone else's bumper with his stress levels through the roof and a profound, gnawing emptiness in his chest. The purchase hadn't filled a void, it had carved out a bigger one. He felt like a fraud, performing a version of wealth he'd seen in movies. And it turns out he wasn't just imagining it. Research from Harvard has found that luxury consumption can actually increase feelings of inauthenticity, making us feel like we're playing a role that isn't really us. Mark was living proof. Then, a chance encounter with a mentor, a man from a family whose name was etched onto university buildings, changed everything. The man didn't notice Mark's car. He didn't care. Over a simple lunch that stretched for 2 unplanned hours, he shared a secret passed down through his family. The ultimate status symbol isn't the car, it's the freedom to not need one. It's the freedom to take a 2-hour lunch on a Tuesday. This conversation sent Mark down a rabbit hole, uncovering the hidden mindset of old money. He discovered their teachings weren't about accumulating more, but about becoming more independent, more resilient, more free. He learned that while the world is busy chasing fleeting symbols of status, old money families are quietly building a life where their most valuable asset is their own time. They understand that money is a renewable resource, but time is finite. You can always make another dollar, but you can never get back a single minute. This led him to the 10 core reasons old money teaches their kids to value time over luxury. These aren't just quaint philosophies, they are strategic principles for building a life of sustainable wealth and fulfillment. And now, we're going to break down all 10. Section 1. Time is the ultimate, unbuyable luxury. The first principle is a total shift in how we define luxury. In the world of showing off, luxury is a thing, a designer bag, a Swiss watch, a flashy car. But in the world of old money, those are just props. The real luxury, the one they crave above all else, is unstructured time. Think about it. What is the one thing no amount of money can create more of? Time. You can buy convenience that saves time, you can hire help to free up time, but you cannot buy a 25th hour in the day. Old money gets this, so the person who controls their own time is the wealthiest person in the room. This isn't about being lazy, it's about autonomy. It's the ability to wake up without an alarm clock. It's the freedom to get lost in a book on a Wednesday morning. It's the power to say no to a meeting, an event, or a request without fearing the consequences. As billionaire investor Warren Buffett famously said, the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. That isn't rude, it's a fierce protection of their most valuable asset. A young professional might show off his success with a calendar packed with meetings. To old money, a packed calendar is a sign of servitude. It means your time is owned by others. The real power move is a calendar with vast open spaces for thinking, for family, for simply being. So how do they teach this? They live it. Kids in these families see their parents protect family time, take long lunches for real connection, and prioritize hobbies that require deep focus. They learn that life isn't about cramming more in, but about having the freedom to choose what matters. The lesson is to reframe your financial wins. Instead of using a raise to buy a new toy, use it to buy back your time. Hire a cleaner, sign up for a meal delivery service. Use money to eliminate the things that drain your minutes so you can reinvest those minutes into what makes you happy and wise. The second reason comes down to simple math, but it's a lesson most people ignore. Old money thinks in generations, not paychecks. This long-term view completely changes how they look at any purchase. They instinctively ask, will this be worth more or less in 10 years? What about 50? A luxury car, the go-to symbol for the newly rich, is an old money nightmare. The second it drives off the lot, its value plummets. It's a depreciating asset that demands constant, expensive upkeep. It's a hole in your pocket disguised as a status symbol. The same goes for most trendy luxury goods. They're designed to be worthless in a year. Instead, old money directs their money towards appreciating assets, things that grow in value over time. This includes the obvious stuff, stocks, real estate, and businesses, but they also invest in education, an asset that compounds in your mind for a lifetime. They invest in experiences that create memories and strengthen family bonds. They'll even invest in high-quality, timeless furniture or a bespoke suit that will last for decades, making its cost per wear a fraction of cheaper, trendier junk. This mindset is about playing the long game. It's like that old proverb, the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. They make decisions not for the quick dopamine hit of a new purchase, but for the long-term security of their family. They are stewards of wealth, not just consumers of it. For anyone trying to build wealth, this means a radical shift. The goal isn't to look rich, it's to become wealthy. That means prioritizing retirement accounts, building a portfolio, and acquiring skills that will be even more valuable in a decade. It's understanding that the real flex isn't the car you drive, but the compound interest you're earning while you sleep. Section 3. The power of living below your means. A core rule for keeping wealth across generations is a disciplined commitment to living below your means. People often mistake this for being cheap, but it's not. It's about creating a huge gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is the engine of wealth creation. For most people, when their income goes up, their lifestyle inflates right along with it. It's called the hedonic treadmill. You get a 10% raise and celebrate by getting a 10% bigger car payment. You feel richer for a second, but your financial freedom hasn't actually increased. You're just running faster in the same spot, still one layoff away from disaster. Old money families see lifestyle inflation as the enemy. They know the foundation of being financially bulletproof is a high savings rate, which is only possible if you keep your costs low. This gives you options, it gives you resilience, and most importantly, it gives you a surplus of cash that can be invested in those appreciating assets we just talked about. This is why you hear stories about millionaires driving 10-year-old cars or living in the same modest house for decades. It's not because they can't afford more, it's because they know the monthly payment on a new luxury SUV is money that could be buying an asset that works for them. They get more joy from their growing investment portfolio than from the fleeting envy of strangers at a stoplight. Teaching this starts early. Kids are often given an allowance and taught to divide it into 3 jars: spend, save, and give. This builds the habit of not consuming everything you get. They learn to appreciate value and durability over brand names. It's not about deprivation, it's about making the conscious choice to prioritize long-term freedom over short-term thrills. Section 4. Investing in quality that saves time. This fourth principle might seem to contradict living below your means, but it's a critical difference. Old money isn't cheap, it recognizes true value. They will often spend way more on a single item than the average person, but their math is different. They invest in quality because in the long run, quality saves both time and money. Think about a wardrobe. The new rich mindset is to buy a closet full of trendy, fast fashion items. It feels like abundance. The old money approach is to buy one impeccably made, timeless blazer. That one blazer might cost 5 times as much, but it'll last for 20 years, not 2 seasons. It never goes out of style. Its cost per wear ends up being a fraction of the cheap stuff. More importantly, it saves an incredible amount of time and mental energy. It reduces decision fatigue. A small wardrobe of high-quality, versatile pieces means less time shopping, less time organizing a cluttered closet, and less time staring blankly at your clothes every morning. Every minute saved is a minute you can use for something better. This goes for everything. Buying a high-performance laptop that doesn't lag saves hours of frustration. Hiring top-tier professionals, an accountant, a lawyer, costs more upfront, but prevents costly mistakes down the line. The philosophy is to look at the total lifetime cost, not just the price tag. The price is a single transaction. The total cost includes maintenance, repairs, replacements, and the time and energy the item sucks out of your life. A cheap, unreliable car is a constant drain on your time. A well-made, reliable one is a tool that gives you back your focus. Section 5. Emotional composure as a time-saving strategy. This one moves from the financial to the psychological, but it has a huge impact on your time. Old money teaches kids to practice emotional stability. In a world that loves outrage and unfiltered reactions, they cultivate restraint, discretion, and a calm demeanor. On the surface, this can look cold or aloof, but it's actually a powerful strategy. Emotional reactivity is a spectacular waste of time. An angry email typed in the heat of the moment can take weeks to undo the damage. A panicked decision during a stock market dip can lock in permanent losses, wrecking years of careful planning. An argument fueled by ego can destroy a business partnership. Composure, on the other hand, saves time. It creates a space between a feeling and a response. In that space, you have the power to choose the most effective, least costly action. A leader who stays calm in a crisis inspires confidence and finds a solution faster. A negotiator who doesn't let their ego get involved can find a win-win deal more quickly. People trust stable, predictable individuals. That trust saves countless hours that would otherwise be spent cleaning up messes and managing self-inflicted crises. Parents in these families model this constantly. Conflicts are handled with quiet discussion, not shouting matches. Disappointments are met with analysis, not drama. Kids learn that keeping your cool is a sign of strength. For anyone looking to adopt this, the practice is simple, but not easy. Learn to pause. Before you react, before you speak, before you type, just take a breath. Ask yourself, what's the most constructive response here? This tiny habit can prevent huge, time-wasting mistakes. Section 6. Cultivating networks of trust, not visibility. You've heard your network is your net worth, but old money sees it differently. For them, it's about the quality and depth of the network, not its size. While a modern striver collects thousands of LinkedIn connections, old money cultivates a small, tight-knit circle of deep, trusted relationships. Why? Because a big, shallow network is a time sink. It's all noise and requires constant upkeep for very little reward. A deep network, however, is a time multiplier. These are the people you can call for real advice, who will connect you with a vetted expert, or who will give you a key piece of information before everyone else knows it. These relationships, built over years on mutual respect, are priceless. A trusted contact can solve a problem in a 5-minute phone call that might take you weeks of cold calling. A mentor's guidance can help you dodge a career-killing mistake, saving you years of recovery. This is the real ROI of social capital. Old money families teach this by prioritizing family and long-standing friendships above all. Social events are often small, private affairs, not flashy parties for Instagram. They teach their kids to be good friends, reliable, discreet, and willing to invest time in people who share their values. They know a relationship is like an investment account. You have to make consistent deposits of time and care for it to grow. Section 7. Education and cultural capital as a social lubricant. To an outsider, the old money focus on liberal arts, good manners, and cultural knowledge can seem like elitist snobbery, but it serves a very practical, time-saving purpose. This kind of cultural capital acts as a universal social lubricant, reducing friction in high-stakes situations. Knowing how to handle yourself at a formal dinner, holding an intelligent conversation on anything from art history to geopolitics, or writing a graceful thank you note, these aren't trivial skills. They signal an education and upbringing that builds instant rapport and trust with others from a similar world. This fluency helps you navigate complex social and business situations with ease. It saves time by helping you avoid the social blunders that can instantly close doors. When you connect with someone on a cultural level, you get past the initial walls of suspicion and get to the real substance of a relationship or a deal much faster. It gives you a shared language. Being able to discuss the architecture of a building with a potential business partner builds a human connection a PowerPoint never could. This isn't about being a snob, it's about building a broad base of knowledge that makes you adaptable and interesting. These families prioritize reading widely, learning languages, and visiting museums. They encourage these experiences because they build a more nuanced understanding of the world. The lesson is to never stop being a student. Read outside your industry, visit an art gallery, learn basic etiquette. See these not as frivolous hobbies, but as investments in your own social fluency. Section 8. Minimalist environments to reclaim mental energy. This principle is about your physical space. Forget the TV portrayal of the rich and palaces overflowing with stuff. Old money homes often emphasize space, light, and curated restraint. This isn't just about looks, it's about your brain. They intuitively get the concept of decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is real. The quality of your decisions gets worse after a long day of making small choices. What to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first. Each one drains your mental energy. By the end of the day, your ability to make smart, high-stakes decisions is shot. A minimalist, uncluttered environment is a powerful antidote. A tidy home saves time because you're not always looking for your keys. A capsule wardrobe, like we mentioned, eliminates the daily "what do I wear" drain. This is the same reason figures like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg adopted a personal uniform. They weren't making a fashion statement, they were saving their precious mental energy for decisions that actually mattered. Old money environments are designed to be calming. The luxury isn't in the quantity of things, but in their quality and the empty space around them. An uncluttered room is an uncluttered mind. This mental clarity allows for deeper focus and better work, which in turn creates more free time. The lesson is to be ruthless in decluttering your physical and digital life. Unsubscribe from junk mail, organize your files, adopt a one-in, one-out rule for new purchases. Every piece of clutter you remove is one less thing begging for a sliver of your time and attention. Section 9. The legacy mindset as a decision filter. Building on long-term thinking, the legacy mindset is the ultimate filter for big decisions. While long-term thinking might be a 10-year horizon, the legacy mindset is a 100-year horizon. It frames life not in terms of what you can get, but what you can leave behind. The key question becomes, how will this decision impact future generations? This completely changes your perception of time. It forces you to prioritize actions that create enduring value over those that provide a quick thrill. It's the difference between buying a speedboat and funding a family trust for education. The speedboat is fun for a summer. The trust provides opportunity for a century. Adopting a legacy mindset means you see yourself as one link in a long chain. Your job isn't to be the flashiest link, but to make sure the chain stays strong. This leads to a healthy conservatism, a desire to conserve and grow resources for those who come after you. It totally reframes risk. The risk of a flashy investment isn't just losing your money, it's jeopardizing your grandchildren's opportunities. This sense of duty naturally prioritizes time. You spend your time building systems and assets that will outlive you, structuring the business, setting up the estate plan, documenting family history. These are not glamorous tasks, they are slow, deliberate efforts, but they are the very things that allow wealth and family unity to last. For those of us not born into a lineage, we can choose to start one. By asking, what will my legacy be? We naturally start to value our time more, directing it toward things that last. Section 10. Discretion and the avoidance of conspicuousness. And our final principle brings us back to Mark and his flashy car. The most obvious trait of old money is discretion. They practice what's now called quiet luxury, a style defined by high-quality, unbranded items where the value is clear only to those who know. But this is more than just fashion. It's a defensive strategy to protect their time. Showing off your wealth is a magnet for unwanted attention. It makes you a target. It brings requests for loans from long-lost cousins. It creates social obligations you'd rather avoid. It can breed envy, resentment, and even security risks. Every single one of those things is a drain on your time and energy. By being discreet, you stay in control. You move through the world with less friction. Fewer people know what you have, so fewer people make demands on it. Your success is quiet, which frees up your evenings and weekends. Staying under the radar is one of the best ways to protect your focus. Plus, a life of conspicuous consumption is a performance. You have to keep up with the Joneses, who then buy something new, forcing you to escalate. It's an endless, exhausting game. You can only win by refusing to play. Discretion is that refusal. It's a statement that your self-worth isn't tied to what other people think. Less time is wasted posturing, and more time is gained for authentic living. The lesson is to let your success speak for itself, quietly. Focus on the substance of your achievements, not the symbols. A quiet life is one where you are in charge of your own time. For Mark, these 10 principles were a lifeline. He started to see his luxury car not as an asset, but a liability, a very expensive, time-devouring master. It wasn't a chariot, it was a chain. So, he made a radical change. He sold the car. It was humbling, a quiet admission that he'd been chasing the wrong thing. But the moment it was gone, he didn't feel loss. He felt an overwhelming sense of lightness, freedom. He took the money he was spending every month on the car and reallocated it. A chunk went straight into his investments, but the most life-altering part was what he did with the rest. He hired a virtual assistant for 10 hours a week to handle his admin tasks. He signed up for a meal delivery service, wiping out grocery shopping and cooking on busy weekdays. Suddenly, he had an extra 15 hours a week. At first, the free time felt weird, but soon he began to fill it. He started reading again. He reconnected with old friends. He took a course in a skill he always wanted to learn. He started leaving work at a reasonable hour, and his stress plummeted. His productivity at work actually went up because his mind was clearer. He was happier, calmer, and felt more in control of his life than ever before. He was richer on the inside, which he now understood was the only place it truly mattered. Mark's story shows the profound truth of the old money mindset. True wealth isn't about buying whatever you want. It's about never having to sell your time. It's about autonomy. It's about freedom. It's about designing your life so that you are the master of your own calendar. These 10 principles, from redefining luxury as time, to thinking in generations, to practicing strategic discretion, aren't about depriving yourself. They're about being intentional. They are a roadmap to escape the treadmill and build a life of substance, purpose, and real freedom. It's a quieter path, but it leads to a far richer destination. The ultimate luxury isn't what you own, but the time you have to enjoy what matters. It's the long walk with no destination, the deep conversation with a loved one, the uninterrupted hour to pursue a passion. This is the wealth that can't be taxed, can't be stolen, and pays dividends of fulfillment every single day. Now, over to you. Which of these 10 principles resonated with you the most? And what is one small change you could make this week to buy back just 1 hour of your own time? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this valuable, please subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll be exploring more timeless strategies for building not just wealth, but a well-lived life.